Alright, this one will be a quick one, as the game is definitely a shorter one and doesn't need a long video, but I played Copycat. Copycat was developed by Spoonful of Wonder, and according to Steam, co-published by Neverland Entertainment, Nuvem Inc., if I think I'm pronouncing that right, and Spoonful of Wonder themselves. It was initially released on September 19th, 2024, and is currently available on PC, Windows PC I should say, Mac OS, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series consoles, and the Nintendo Switch. I played the game on PC through Steam, so all footage you are seeing is from that platform, recorded using OBS. I also did play a small chunk of this on my Lenovo Legion Go, and I lowered the settings a bit from what it deemed as default, and it ran perfectly fine. Might have been okay with the settings where it put it at, but I don't know. I lowered it. I'm a frame chaser, you guys know this. In Copycat, you play as Dawn, a shelter cat who gets adopted by an elderly woman named Olive. After growing a little accustomed to life in Olive's home, you find out you are a replacement to Olive's previous cat, who looked just like Dawn, and ran away. However, the first cat eventually does come back, and you get left to fend for yourself on the street. As a cat owner, this game definitely pulls on the heartstrings a good amount. In the beginning of the game, you pick from like 6 cats as to what your Dawn will look like, and I made I think at the end of the day it was a mistake of picking one that looks most like my Mango, and I'm a big fat softie, so I probably still would have felt the emotions I felt during my playthrough regardless of what my Dawn looked like, but it may have had a slight extra feeling behind it because I went with the orange cat, and the whole time I was just thinking of my Mango in this situation, and I was pretty heartbroken about it. And I feel this game does do a really good job of portraying Dawn's emotions and thoughts. Her thoughts are portrayed by just kind of reading text that pops up in the environment, but there's also a voice that sounds like a British narrator that I believe is kind of to act as Dawn's conscience, is the way I took it, or maybe how to kind of more lay out what she's thinking, not exactly what she's feeling, if that makes sense. Maybe like her emotions are conflicted at one point, and her mind may be saying one thing, but her actions may be saying another. Although I definitely felt bad for Dawn most of the time, and the narrator does add value, but I often found the narrator to be a little over the top. They go for a nature show narrator vibe with a British gentleman, but the voice is very over the top and often kind of takes away from the gravitas, if you will, of whatever is happening. It felt very comical where it definitely should at times, but it also felt even a little comical when it definitely was not a comical situation happening. I was definitely fucking with the story of the game overall though, up until the end. I definitely feel the ending falls very short, especially in comparison to the rest of the game. This game genuinely had me choked up at times, but when the credits rolled, I was thinking that's it, and it definitely fell flat for me, having a stroke here. And lastly, I feel the animations and movement of this game were very clunky and not very smooth. When I think about cats and observe my own cats, they move so smoothly and fluidly, like everything is just one big motion. Whereas in this game, it feels pretty clunky, chunky, and unsmooth. Kind of like a dog, for lack of a better term, I guess. Cats, I feel like, are a flag in a gentle breeze, very controlled, very smooth, almost artistically moving. Dogs move like a flag in a windstorm, flaying wildly out of control and consistently jerking around. That might be a shitty metaphor, but it's really all I got. Especially since Dawn moves pretty slow at times. Like when you hit the jump button, it takes another second or two for her to actually jump. And the turning and stuff kind of the same way, just slow to respond, I guess, when cats kind of move lightning speed. That's really all I have to say about Copycat. If you want a good cat game, I would definitely point you towards Stray first. It is far less realistic, but Blue 12 Studio, I believe, far more nailed the feeling of being a cat. Now, I would be willing to bet a very high amount of United States currency that the staff and budget for Stray was far more than Copycat. Especially in the game of Copycat itself, they say they are a 2-person development team, and Stray seems to have a team somewhere in the upper 20s, as well as having the publishers of Annapurna Interactive behind Stray, and they are a pretty well-established publisher in comparison to Neverland, who seems to mostly do anime games, and Nuvem, who has never published anything I've heard of. Not to mention, the story of Stray did bring me to tears at the end of it, because, like I said, big fat softie, emphasis on the big and the fat. For most of the time, I do genuinely prefer Copycat story overall, but they fumble the ending so badly, it makes me like Stray's story a little more. That is why it is important to stick the landing at the end, people. I hate it when there's such a good story, and I'm loving every second of it, and then the ending just falls so flat. Case in point, link in the description, Pacific Drive. My favorite game of that year, no question, but god, did the ending just kind of disappoint me. But I will say, if you are interested in this game, definitely check it out. It's like 15 bucks, I think. I got it on sale for $7.50, and it is short. I did the whole thing in less than 3 hours. So think of it as less as a game and more of a movie. If you are someone who wants to check this game out, maybe try it out next time you want to have a at-home movie night. But instead of watching the movie, play this game. But if you're looking for a better cat game experience, so to say, I would definitely check out Stray first. But that's really it. That's all I got to say on Copycat. Short one today. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for all your food and gaming needs, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'd love to hear them. I'll see you in the next one.